Hello and welcome to Doodle Club. This week I'm going to show you the skills and techniques I use to create an organic looking doodle. Someone asked me if I would do that in, I think, the comments of last week. Maybe the week before. I don't know. I've lost a bit of track here. I hope you're well and I really hope you enjoy this week's Doodle Club.
So we're looking at illustrations and doodles that have a more organic feel to them. I'm just going to show you a few. Oh no, not her. wasn't going to pop her in. So where you've got things like roots and leaves, but with the kind of little quirky bits to them as well. So you might have these sort of overlapping weaving bits and then this sort of organic feel to the design. So I'm just going to take my other book. There we go. So these have all been done using colouring pencils. Again, you've got this idea of flow, which I think works quite well, and this one as well, sort of overlapping, weaving in and out. So I'm going to show you how to create this sort of pattern for your own designs. So I'm going to be using Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils again, which are probably my favourites. And I'm going to be using the colours of sort of green, turquoise and grey. So it's going to be a little more muted than my previous neon bright colours. And I'm going to make sure that they are all really sharp before we get going. I'm going to start off by just using my graphite pencil to create my design. Now, because I want it to be organic, there's going to be no rulers, no straight lines. Everything is going to just flow across the page. And I'm going to start by creating sort of a square type shape, and then I'm going to put in a few circles and I'm going to turn this into kind of a flower overlapping to the ends there. And that's going to be my basic composition, and I'm going to add to it as we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is to make this appear like a ribbon. I'm just following the contours of the line that I already did. And we're going to start to do some weaving in and out as we go. And we're going to start here. So I'm going to go round this again, creating the edge. Now, if I can see that there. Imagine this is a ribbon. This is going under this one, but it's going to go over that one, under that one, and over that one, under this one, and over that one. Now, I am going to need my eraser to take out some of these other lines. Just going to do that lightly so you can just see those. When we put the colours in, it will be much more obvious what I'm doing. Let's just take that there. That one, that one's going under, so this is going over. So I'm going to take out those ones there. It doesn't matter if you make a few mistakes. You're using your pencil very lightly so we can rub out the lines that you don't want. I'm just going to come around here, because on this sort of, it's a bit like a border, I'm going to be doing some circles that will end up looking a little bit like pebbles and stones. And when we get to the patterns and the shading in bit, you'll see it more clearly. Now, this line here from the flower is going over the top, but then it's going to tuck underneath. So it will be a bit of an illusion. I'm putting those in there. I'm just using a pencil very lightly. And I'm going to do those pebbles all the way round. I've got all my pebbles all the way round. And now I'm going to create, I kind of call it a bit of a spider's web. I mean, it's not quite a spider's web, but it's quite similar. I'm going to start off by just putting a dot in a circle. And I'm going to come round. Now this is going underneath the flower. Like this. And this is the bit that does start to look quite complicated, but if you do one bit at a time, you'll be fine. Taking that. And I might weave some of these in and out a bit later. I'm going to see where that goes. These are just my kind of starting points, and things may change. Okay, I'm going to keep it like that for the moment. No, that doesn't make sense. That one, there we go. Lovely. Like that. Now I'm going to do some of my roots. Now, if you look at tree roots, you'll see this sort of effect, and I would really recommend that you have some photos of roots, or you actually have a bit of a branch, some twigs, that kind of thing, to get that organic type effect. When you go and have a wander in the woods and you see how the roots all kind of move in together, I love that. Absolutely love it. I say, and I might have some of these roots going in and out of each other, but we're just putting together the composition at the moment. I'm going to take a bit around here, like that. Quite liking that. And it does look quite messy and a little bit complicated to start with, but then when we start to put the colour together, that's when it can make more sense. that's the plan anyway. Pop that in there. I'm not sure what I'm doing here at the moment. I might just leave that until I feel a bit more inspired. Now I'm going to start to put some colour because I want to start to differentiate between the different spaces. I'm going to start to put some colour on this little border so we can see where the overlapping bits are, the weaving bits in and out. I'm doing this circular movement. Now this is a deep cobalt green that I use quite a bit. It's a beautiful colour. I used it in the Optical Illusions one last week. If you haven't looked at that one, you might like to do that. So you can see this one is going over the top, and now this is going underneath. Again, I'm not putting any tone in at the moment. I just want to block out, block the colours just so that I can see where the ribbon goes. And I like to think of these as ribbons, because that kind of helps with the thinking about the three-dimensional aspect of the illusion. I'm just bringing that down here, like that. And I will start to put in some tone as we go further. Let's just do this bit, just using the pencil very, very lightly. You see that one goes underneath, and we're coming round here, like that, and I'll go all the way round. So I've done that one all the way round. Again, no tone at the moment. And what I want to do here, I want to add another ribbon that goes over the top of the kind of flower shape, and I want to put in a bead. So I'm going to do this little bead here, and then that's ribbons coming out underneath that one. And again, when you put the colour on, you'll see more clearly. This is going to go over the top of this one, underneath that one, and it's going to wiggle its way round. So because I want to go over the top of that one, I just need to take out that line there. And I will put some colour on this one so that you can see this ribbon is going to float, as ribbons do, out of the bead. So I'm now going to do some colour on that one so you can see it. I'm going to do that in turquoise. Let me just sharpen that one. So this come round this way into the bead, which will be a different colour. That. It's going to come out of the bead like that, and then come over this one. And all these sort of tricks and little techniques you can then use in your own designs, which are, it's just really good fun to do. So you can see this ribbon is beginning to come through here, and I'm not sure where it's going to go yet, but it will go somewhere. Okay, I'm now going to work in this centre bit now. This is pine green that I'm using. I'm just going to come out with some lines like this. I'm just going to shade this one in the middle. And then using the same green, I'm going to put this bit that goes underneath. Like this. And again, just use your pencil lightly. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here, so I'm just going to leave that to see what happens. And when I create these sorts of doodles, I have an idea in my head, but I let my mind just sort of relax and just see where the line takes me. So I don't plan it all out perfectly. I just like to play. I think it's very important that we allow ourselves to just see what happens. And there may be things that you really like and things that you don't, and that's fine, because you can use your ideas for later pieces, can't you? This one's going to come out here and go underneath the turquoise. Yeah, I'm not putting any tone at the moment. So, it all looks a little bit flat at the minute. But you can start to see where the patterns are. I'm going to take this one. I think this was a root, but I'm going to take it. I quite like where that's going, actually, coming out of there. Then I'm coming out this way. It's when you start to put the colour on is when you can see that if you've missed something or you've made a mistake. So I can see straight away that I've missed this one. So you can see I've done it there. That one is there. But this is just one single line. So I'm going to bring that, and I think I'm going to take that one over that one. Like that. Bring it down there. And this was the last one. Is there now? The root pieces I'm going to do in a different colour. I think I'm going to do them in a different green. Let's I'm just going to use this one. What's this one called? Oh, this is a chrome oxide green. And I'm just going to do that one. Again, if we're using different tones and shades of the same colour, it's all going to work really well together. Let's put that one there. These little green roots down that one, and I'm going to do those for all of the green roots, and then I'm going to do this ribbon that goes round and then decide what I'm going to do in that space there. So I had an idea of what I wanted to do in this corner. I quite like these little scrolls. You start by doing a spiral, and then you take the edges like this, and you have this idea of a scroll. I am going to take it underneath here as well, because I think that would be fun. I'm going to finish it in a kind of a swirl here, and I think I'm going to do that in turquoise, just so you can see. That bit there. I like these. These are good fun. So put that there. Again, I'll be doing lots of tone to really bring out the three-dimensional effect. When we get to the end, if I do that one turquoise as well. I think I might do another one. I might just look around so it's easier. Let's just do making a sort of effect of a scroll, sort of paper scroll. This one's disappearing. I might extend it further when I look at the whole composition, but it might just be hidden underneath this ring, which is what I'm going to do next. I'm going to use my green. Yeah, I'm going to take this circle that I put right at the very beginning, create this ring that goes all the way around. Yeah, that's going to just, that scroll is going to disappear. Like this. I'm going to put some beads on here. Let's just pull that round. So I'm just going to take my paper so I don't smudge. I'm going to put a bead on this. I'm going to imagine that this is a ribbon. That goes in like that. This bead comes round like that, and I'm going to have this bead the same colour. Just do it a little bit darker so you can see. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to blend my colours. So I'm going to take turquoise and put it over the top of that green. I really like combining the colours with these pencils. They blend beautifully. They're very, very soft. You can see that it's got just that like hint of the green coming out through the bead. Now, this bit here, where we go into the shadow, I'm just going to do this in very dark blue, just so you can see that bit there. So I'm going to do a bit of detail on this little scroll. On the edges, I'm going to press really hard with my turquoise. So we have this idea of the light coming from the front, shining onto it. This is going to be a bit darker because we're going into the scroll bit. You see that? It just gives this illusion of 3 dimensions. Just do that a little bit more. Like that, which is fun. And I'm going to do the same with this one. So we're going to take the edge. Press hard. Are you practicing doing your tonal values? That bit's going underneath. And then under here. Let's do that quite roughly. Let's take this one. So can you see what's happening there? Is that scroll, the start looks like it's kind of coming up this way. So I've done a little bit more of the green ribbon that's like a flower, and then I was looking at this bit and I thought, oh, I need to have a bit of fun here. So this is quite a wide space, so I thought, what if the ribbon had a hole in it like that? So that's the green, a sort of brighter green, like a viridian green. Actually, this one, it's lovely. So that's like that. But of course, if it's got a hole in it, that means that this bit is going to show underneath. And I thought, that's quite fun. I don't take my illustrations that seriously, as you've probably discovered. You've worked that one out. I am liking that. That's quite fun. Let's just define this a little bit more. Some of these designs I do frame. I'll do another one. This is in my sketchbook, obviously, and some I will develop into paintings. So I'll have the same sort of idea, but I'll do them in paint, and that could be in watercolours or acrylic or oils. But it's when you're doodling, you can really just try out new things, play with motifs and ideas, and then you can just see what's going to work and what isn't going to work. Now this green, I'm going around the corner. This is going to be a bit in shadow, so I'm just using this darker, this sort of moss green over the top. And because I am just using greens, there is a subtlety to the design. But of course, you could do this whole thing in bright neon pink if you wanted to, and it would look great. Let's just put that as if that was going around the corner there. Yeah, so quite liking that bit there. But can you see that we've now got this split in the ribbon? I also thought I would work on this spider's web in the moss green. So I'm quite liking that. Like this. Or you could do a flower in the middle, or a heart. I do really like spiders' webs. Not very keen on spiders, but I like spiders' webs. I think they're fascinating. As you can see, I'm just sort of building up this whole design, looking at it as a whole, looking at the balance, thinking where else I could put some more designs, more patterns, or whether to just leave some of the blank space. So I'm going to do a little bit more detail, a bit more tone, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to turn this green, I'm going to bring it into a more blue, so we have this idea of a flow. So I've decided to use Prussian blue on this bit here. Again, I'm using it very lightly to begin with, but then I'm also using the green. So as the green turns into the blue, putting one colour on top of the other. I'm just going to put that there. Like this. I had a lovely art class this morning in Axminster, and we decided that, well, I didn't decide. They said that what they wanted to do was some textile stuff. So we did some weaving and some crochet. It was lovely. Very relaxing. It's a very easygoing art session. Lots of conversation. Just having a bit of a chat, drinking coffee. So you can see that I'm sort of bringing that through with the blue. Do it now. I've got this. I might do another split here. Yeah, let's do a split. Like that. As it goes round the corner over this one, I will put another fold into it. So I'll do that here as well. Let's just come round like that, I think. Oh, that's good. So I've done a few more details, a bit more tone, and just sort of getting that more of a 3D effect. Now I am going to introduce another colour. So I'm going back to my colour wheel. And what we're going to do is to look at the complementary colours. So these are the ones that are on the opposite side of the colour wheel. And because I'm on sort of these blues and greens and sort of this sort of limey green, I'm going to look at violet. And so what I'm going to do with these pebbles around the edge here and this little bead here, I'm going to do in a sort of a red violet, and you'll see how the complementary colours work together when I do that. So I'm just going to start off with this violet, which is just called purple violet. Oh, thought I'd got that sharpened. You do need to keep your pencils sharp. I know I keep going on about that, but it is really important. So I'm going to start in this section here. I've got my little pebbles, and I'm going to do the negative space. So I'm not actually going to colour the pebbles. I'm colouring the space between the pebbles, like that. And I'm going to use this violet and a sort of a pinky red as well. I'm sort of building that up. Now you can see the contrast between the green and the purple, so that they're on the other side of the colour wheel. Let's just pop that in there. So this is why you need to keep your pencil sharp, because you've got to get those into the edges. building that up. So we're getting this sort of pebbly effect. Like that. And it can look so effective, especially when we start to really put in some of the details. So I'm just doing this little edge here so you can see. Let's go in there. So I'm pressing quite hard now. And again, you're seeing that between the that lovely green purple. Works really well. Oops, putting that around like that. And I am going to go all the way around with this, but I'm also going to introduce a sort of a pinky red, which I'll do in just a moment. Let me just do that. So this is a crimson. It's an alizarin crimson. So I'm just going to do that here. I'm going to put the colours on top of each other so they will blend into each other like this. And can you see what's happening now? So it's, oh. Obviously you don't have to use these colours. Use whatever you want. Whatever makes you happy. Let's do that there. So I'm using this violet and the crimson. Like this. And I'm going to do that all the way round. Oh, so I've done a little bit more around there, but no, I thought I would do this little bead. So I'm going in with my fuchsia. Just shading it in, and then darker at the edges. Building up that tone, and then just coming round there a little bit. I'm quite liking that that contrast. It's just press a bit harder. Like this. And then to this edge as well. Like that. And then I've got this little bead down here that was grey, and I'm just going to put a little hint of the pink on that one. And I think I'm going to put a little bit of pink in here as well. So it's that crimson, this crimson here, the purple and the red. It's a combination as we go all the way around. There. So I did a little bit more whilst having a cup of tea and listening to some music, which was rather nice. I hope you're having a good time and you're enjoying it. And as I was looking at it, I took a step back, had a look, and I thought, oh, what am I going to do in this bit? And I was looking at the border, and I'm thinking, actually, I want this sort of grey-green ribbon to look like it's in front of the pebbles. So that means I need to extend the pebbles. So I thought, oh, I'll do that and show you. So I'm bringing this purple line here and I'm just going to join it there. And this space is also going to be pebbles. And then that will look as though all of the pebbles are behind the grey ribbon. Let's pop that in there. And the other thing that I've been doing is I've been sort of going into the purple just a little bit stronger, just getting a bit more depth, like that. Just bring that there, and oh, I'll just so you can see that that's appearing to be behind, right at the back. Can you see that little corner there? And I'm going to do the same down this corner. There was a few things where I'd realised I'd made some mistakes, and so I was correcting those. And then I've started to work on this middle bit. So you can see that I've just started to just put a bit of depth, a bit of details into this sort of spidery web with a few different shades of green. So building that up like that. Do love putting one colour on top of another and seeing how it works. I love that. And the other thing that I'm not very happy about is this bit. So I'm going to turn that using my turquoise. I'm going to bring a ribbon round. So I'm going to take that like that. Just bring it around there. It's all going to be behind these. And it would just link these bits together, which is quite fun. So I'm going to work on doing some of the tone. You can see this sort of green going into blue, and then some greys, little splashes of pink. I'm going to do a little bit more of that, and then we'll come back and I'm going to show you how we finish off. So coming to the end of this little illustration and doodle, and I've put a few more bits. I quite liked this pebble background, so I thought I'd bring that in there as well. I'm liking the balance. I like the balance between the blues and the greens, and then the purples and the pink. And so what I'm going to do now is using a black pencil. Sometimes I'll use a very dark blue or a very dark green. I'm going to do black here because it will be easier for you to see. And I'm just going to start to pick out a few bits and give them a little bit more depth. And so I'm going to start off over this side where that ribbon bends round, or the illusion of that. And then just in that space there, shade in black. Then I'm going to do the same there. Those little bits where the bead, the shadow of the bead. And again, you can just do tiny little sort of tiny kind of bits of this, and it will have quite a big impact. So wherever something goes underneath or appears to go underneath, then you're going to just add, just like a shadow really, over the top of the colour as it goes round. If you just do a little bit at a time, you can always just then add some more to it. So I'm going to do a bit down there. Now with this one, I'm really liking the composition actually. So I think I'm going to take this idea for a painting. So over the next few weeks, I'll be doing that probably in my Friday art. So if you haven't checked out any of my Friday art tutorials, perhaps you'd like to do that. If you haven't liked and subscribed, perhaps you'd like to consider that if this is something that you're enjoying. And leave a comment and tell me what you're doing. Just see, you can see what happens when you just add these little touches. As we go to create that three-dimensional illusion, which I really enjoy doing. It's really fun. Just sort of bringing that round there, tiny bits at a time. You step back from your work, have a look at it. Think, well, oh yeah, I could do some shadows there. I've done nothing in the background and I'm going to leave it like that, but of course you could put in more shadows, make things more three-dimensional. You do whatever you want, but the whole point of me sort of showing you this is that you can take these ideas and turn them into your own ideas. That's what I absolutely love doing as a teacher, is to inspire you to just develop your own art practice in your own way. So this is my finished doodle. I really hope you've enjoyed this week's Doodle Club and that you're creating your own doodles. And I really hope to see you next time. Bye bye.